The housing struggles of ordinary laboring people. By virtue of the kind of economy that India has, on the one hand, it is displacing huge numbers of people from agriculture, which has always been the dominant occupation, because of mechanization, because of the so-called agricultural revolution, the green revolution that took place in India, as well as subsequent developments in the field, the industrialization of the field, and then also the industrialization of the country and the building of huge development projects, etc., so-called development, which have led to the displacement of millions and millions, like 100 million people and more have been displaced in this time. And they have moved to the cities, but by virtue of having lost everything, they have to live on the margins, and usually in what's called illegal ways or unauthorized ways. And it's a dehumanization of a kind which is very difficult to imagine, perhaps other than for people such as who this online course is directed at, people who've been evicted from their homes. And I think that people of that kind have a very different perspective to life, and I learned a great deal from them, from that period, from 1975 onwards, through the 90s. The work that we did was very initially, because I think it was new work. It was successful. I think everybody was surprised. The people themselves, we were basically organizing people to be able to gain their rights, to be able to gain a consciousness of what their rights are, whether it's women or men and children, and to be able to put forward an organized voice. And I think the state, for instance, the municipality, was surprised that people were conscious that they had rights under municipal laws, such as to clean drinking water, such as to sanitation, such as to getting letters where they lived, such as the vote, such as in India at that time there was something called ration cards, which were essential to get essential commodities such as rice and grain and oil at controlled prices. These people had been left out of this loop entirely, and so all of these kind of, which is a very simple, elementary part of life that we take it for granted, but for them it was very real. And for the first few years it was very successful. We were very unpopular because with the government, and we were attacked both by the government frontally as well as by the parties, the political parties. Their youth and cadres attacked us because in a way we were playing a role that they didn't expect anybody to be playing, organizing people. It's a historically new thing that was taking place. However, and it worked, it was also successful in a different level, which is that similar things were happening in other parts of the country. Similar people had similarly started working, and we came together to build a national platform called the National Campaign for Housing Rights. It became the first broad cross-sectoral platform in India, composed of hundreds of organizations of all kinds, from so-called slum dwellers, and tenants, through to agricultural workers, to factory workers, through to women, environmentalists, political parties, human rights people, just about any field you can think of, because the home is so central to about every part of life. And in the 5 years of its existence, it succeeded in raising this question, and as some likened it to a fire that was burning in the country. I think many people came around to agreeing that and we in a way learnt from people that, as I was saying, that housing was not about buildings. Housing was about a place to live in security and dignity. And this redefinition, aside from trying to bring it into national policy, into law, ended up also going up to the United Nations and becoming embedded in UN agreements and covenants and so on and so forth. Not by ourselves, we joined an international coalition of people in concern with housing issues, and it was that coalition that carried that forward, the Habitat International Coalition.